I don't know if that's worked, Sting. We'll give it another shot.
Okay.
Oh, it looks like it's in already. Oh dear. Well, I guess we're getting 2 for 1 at the moment for the past couple of streams, but
What is this? Mashington Mansion?
yeah, we're
Looks like the Gardenscape.
It is a little bit like that. I guess, I don't know, I just had to pick something really quick, you know what I mean?
No worries.
So it's,
Then I will skip intro. Hello.
so it's once again, sorry for that live stream, to the live chat. Oh, it's been a bit nightmarish, hasn't it?
Oh, I can see. This gonna be some explosion. Who not gonna explode after the stream for sure. There's some explosionings coming.
You can tell.
I have to
can't
prepare. I have to prepare.
I just,
Okay. Do you want something special, Puda?
Old Uncle Peter gets aggravated.
Think about what you wanna eat for lunch.
Clayton Gavers here, Random's here. Sorry, I don't know what happened that time. We're using mobile data. It shouldn't cause us any problems, and yet it just suddenly cut off. So new game, and just tell me not to swear, okay? You got to remind me. Don't say anything naughty during the stream, but as soon as it's finished, you can go off.
You make sure that it's off first.
Yeah. I'll never forget the live stream where I didn't do that. Well, I did ask though. I did say, "Is it stopped streaming?" And you said, "Yeah," and then I went off.
No, I don't think so. I don't think that's the case. Don't blame it on me again.
Ah, all right. Maybe it was me. Okay, so that is frustrating because now I've got twice as much work to do as per normal. And I'm going to have to reset everything, so just bear with me, Sting. You're going to have to do a bit of commentary.
Okay, we do the new task. We add the new couch. Now, new coffee table. We have to play another level here. Let's do it. You know, do you feel like it's cold there around your head, Buddha?
Yes, because I've got no hair on my head. Now, talk to Clayton and Random. I'll be back in a sec.
Sure. How you guys been? I'm pretty sure it's the same, like the Gardenscape and whatnot. Okay. Ooh. Now I have to concentrate. Okay. Explode. This is explode like a Puda at the moment.
Yeah.
Smashing!
Stinky, I have to just calm down for a sec because I'm getting more aggro. So,
Agro Puda! I keep telling you, you should just get the new internet provider for ages. You're just being too stingy about
we're
it.
Doing it now. Ewan Bourne's here. I'll be right
Hello,
back.
Ewan Bourne.
Just let me I'm going to just
Okay, guys.
boil the kettle.
I think we're gonna hear some far away screaming or yelling.
Yeah. What the hell?
It just happened.
Don't let the microphone pick it up from here.
Oh, put up, you have to go to the garden in that case. Alright. Fix. Now. Kabroosh.
Live streams. It all sucks.
Okay. Now we clean up. It doesn't look clean at all. Now what I'm gonna get? Oh, just new table? That's it? Oh, with the carpet. I like this one. I might get this one. New carpet, new table, and matching flowers. Alright. you're not coming back, stop talking. Oh my god. Pudot is mad. It's just internet. Okay, double tap to make explosion. Yeah, I don't want to do that, but it's what I got to do. Alright.
Twice as much work to do.
Done. I did it. If I skip, did I miss? Did I also miss my jackpot? Hope not. Well, talking about jackpot. You know, guys, I don't know why, but these days I just want to buy a lotto. And I never bought, never had this feeling before, which is so weird. Doesn't mean God tell me what number to get or anything like that, but you know, I think I'm just get bored with the work and fed up with it. Now I'm just want a cheap way, quick way out. Want to buy a lotto for some reason. Now might have to do it for the sake of my mental health. But I don't get the lotto here that much. I think like back in my country, we only have one system. Like we actually have to go and buy the actual paper one. I'm not sure because I never bought it online. I don't think we have online lottery. But you got it here, and you got so many systems. I think you got Tax Lotto, you got Oz Lotto, and then you got Powerball. It's so much different. And you got Division. Well, we have Division too, but it's not like here. Like last division here, you can get maybe $10 to help finance your next lotto, I guess. If your lotto costs like 26, then okay, you got some discount from this time. But I don't think we have that low of the winner in my country. $10, who wants that? Anyway, it's better than nothing, I suppose. But if that's for next financial, next lotto, it's kind of doesn't help, I don't think. Anyway, enough of that. Now, I have to pick the number. What is the number I should go for? I will have to ask Pudot for it. You pick for mine. First, Aussie Lotto. Oh, I don't know what lotto I'm gonna buy, but something. For sure. Oops. Ooh. I'm going in the middle. Did I make it? Yes, I made it. Georges. And I don't want to skip this part because I don't want to lose anything. I'm afraid if I skip it, I'm gonna lose some bonus. Alright, here we go. What can I do? Investigate creepy painting. Why? Can you just get a new one? Something behind the painting, of course. A safe? Money? Gold? Something? Oh, what? That's not gonna be what I think. What? Kitty cat? Kitty cat behind the painting? Oh, and that's gonna become my pet. Alright. Fluffy white cat. I thought I'm gonna find some gold behind my creepy painting. No! Have to happen to get a pet here. Alright, never mind. Kitty cat, can you get me some gold? And that happens to be the door that needs to be fixed. Alright. Let's get on. Let's do the next one. Ooh.
I'm no calmer than before. I wasn't planning on doing a Pudot rant. there's going to be a Poo Dot rant. Ethanator's here. Where's Poo Dot? I'm back, Clayton. I just had to walk away because the thought of... I really don't like it when I have to do twice as much work. It takes up a lot of time to do all of that background work. How have you been, Ethanator? The clan seems to be going quite well. Don't forget to opt in for Clan Wars if you're going to do that for the upcoming league. All right, so that's that. And did you see that? What happened? Something funny happened when I got a notification for the stream. I slipped while watching Family Guy. How did you slip? Because they ran that fast. Ran that fast to pick up the phone or the whatever device they got the notification from. Do you reckon that's what it was, Stinky?
I don't think so.
Oh no, alright, we got to do some cheering up of Ethanator. He's having a bad day. You think he just got friend zoned.
Oh.
Have you... I'm going to ask this. You're a woman?
What?
Have you ever friend zoned someone?
Nope.
Well...
I don't have enough interest to do that. I can't afford it.
Right. I have actually friend zoned a couple of people just because I wasn't attracted to them. What do you do? Now, Ethanator, don't worry about friend zone. This is what I will say to you. Let's say you have a good relationship with this person. They don't want to go out with you. You are interested in them, but they've kind of said no, but let's be friends. That can be to your advantage. Because, you know, a couple of things. Number one, they might have some hot friends.
Oh.
Now, that's what I'd be looking at. I'd be going for the hot friends. And the second thing is jealousy. You go for one of those friends or someone that they might know, and then all of a sudden they think, oh, maybe he's not so bad. Now, this is something that was said to me by a player, right? You know, the players, the smooth movers, they say, when there's a group of girls, talk to the least attractive one. And I'm not saying that to be mean or nasty, but what happens is if you show attention to not the most attractive one in the group,
then you get it.
Yeah, because they're like a cat. Why aren't you paying attention to me? And I've tried it, and it works. Because I talk to all of your non-hot friends.
You know me first. Thanks. Now, it's getting cold.
Yeah, you can turn on the thingy. I'll pop it on for you.
Okay, thanks. I'm gonna close the door.
So I don't know if I'll opt in. I'm taking the hardest class my school offers. Oh, okay. You're talking about Clan War League. That's fine. We actually have like more than 15 players, I think. It's only because she has so many activities she doesn't have time now, but I'll try later. Well, there you go. That's another thing.
You don't have to be fixated on this person.
Yeah, and in reality, I think I know roughly what Ethanator's age is. He's still very, very young. You've got your whole life ahead of you. Yeah. Same thing to Penguin. I said the same thing to him, and he's back. Good to see you back, Penguin.
Hey, Penguin.
Don't worry about these things too much. You'll find in life, you know, unless you're extremely lucky, and I've got, I think, one or two friends. No, not really. I don't think I know anyone that has been with their first love. There was one guy, but they're now divorced.
Okay.
So I had one guy that married the person that they first dated.
Well, you might say that's lucky, but in another way, you might find that you never have choice, and then you regret it later. Just like one of my friends.
Yes, which is another thing, that if you don't go out exploring and so on, then you have a very limited experience. And that, I don't know if I should say this, but my father gave some interesting advice that kind of shocked me at the time. He said, you know, when you go to the show, you check out all the show bags. You don't just look at one, do you? Okay. So there's a fair bit of truth behind that. And you'll find, I don't know, this is only my own personal experience, that the first person that you believe you fall in love with, particularly at a younger age, It's more like puppy love. It's not real love because you don't know what that is. And then you meet someone later on and it's real love and they break your heart and then you end up marrying the one that you thought you wouldn't, that ends up being an arch nemesis. So that's what we've got for that. Now, Clayton says my cat got into the bean burrito and I ran and slipped on a napkin, fell face forward. Oh no. Sounds like your cat's like our cat. It's going to eat practically anything. I also have some more sad news. My whole day kind of is bad now. My old babysitter's... I can't read that part. And we were pretty close when I was young, but I haven't seen her in 10 years. Now, I'm going to skirt around this because we have also experienced... You read that word. And we were talking about this recently. Remember I said, not the girl that lived at that place. Why were we talking about, we were talking about someone else. Who were we talking about? I can't remember.
Not me, right?
No, not you. This is a tough one because you do carry it. And I will say, how can I tell the story without telling the story?
None! Shut up! That's how you do it.
Yeah, but it's more sort of explaining the feelings. Basically, there was someone that I had met a number of times. I didn't know them personally. It was through business that I met them. And yeah, they ended up passing away. And this is over the course of a number of years I'd interacted with them. And I felt really bad and kind of responsible. Like if I'd only known, if we had only known, I could have made arrangements to speak to her and get to know her on a personal level. And it's hard to... I still think of her now. And she was nobody to me, you know what I mean? Like wasn't a friend, wasn't a family member, but you still carry that. So yeah, it's tough. The best advice I can give you, Ethanator, I am absolutely sure that you're going to have a kids helpline, or we have a not an adult one, but a general one. It's called Beyond Blue here, and that you can call. Oh, that's why. Okay, so I was after every stream, you know, I do the advertising and promoting on other platforms, and I was on Twitter, and someone wrote that they were going to do that, and it appeared on my timeline.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know who they are, you know, and I felt powerless because who are they? And I don't know how to help them. So all I did was report the comment to say, look, you know, there's an issue here, and then it just disappeared. But then the Beyond Blue number came up, so I rang them, and I've got to say they're very good. The lady... I explained that it had nothing to do with me, but then she asked me how I was feeling about it and so on. And I lightly touched on this when we came back from taking that long break. I don't want to say too much about my own personal things because I just don't want people to think I use it as an excuse, because a lot of people do, and I believe that they don't really have this condition. Having said that, you know, a lot of people do, but I struggle with talking about it publicly for one. But yeah, basically, look, you're not alone. People do go through these sorts of things, and there are ways that you can get help. That's what I'd say. You should always do that. You know, even if it's tough to talk to your family, you need to. If it gets that bad, you know. Or if you really can't, then that's when you go and speak to some other organisation to work things out. So we're here for you. You know that, Ethanator. We've gone through things together with you before. How's everyone been? Asks Penguin. Well, Ethanator's not having a good day. We've been okay, but having said that, the old cough is pretty bad here at the moment. So we're in a pretty severe lockdown. We can't do too much, and the numbers are even higher than what they were before. Personally, we just stay inside and, you know, go to work when we have to, and that's about it.
Yeah.
We don't really do anything else. And Hi Vlogs here. Good video, he says. Thank you for all of those emojis. How have you been, Penguin? I hope everything's been all right with you. And Clayton's been playing Wolfenstein too. Is that, what device is that on? PlayStation or phone or what is it? I might write that one down too. So let's get that down. Yeah, so we're all here for you. The DLGs support each other, particularly the DLG OGs, don't they? They've all gotten to know each other over time. So, yeah, if there's anything we can do, but it's kind of hard from our end. Oh, well, Penguin's been good. That's good to hear. Some good news.
Yay.
Isn't it? I like Penguin. He's got a lovely face. He's got one of those pleasant demeanours. And this is what, can I do a bit more bragging, Stink Pants? You know how I love to brag about myself.
Yeah, of course.
About how good I am.
Blah.
A lot of the times when I have met my mates' girlfriends who then become wives or whatever in the past, particularly with that group that you've met, they're always attracted to talk to me. And I always ask them, like, why? And they go, because you look like the most trustworthy out of that group. And you would actually confirm that though, Stinky, wouldn't you? Out of that group of friends of mine, who would you trust the most out of all of us?
Trust in what sense? It
In any
depends.
sense.
No. That's different.
All right.
I'll tell you later.
Because you're not going to say how much you don't trust me on stream. I'm trustable to a degree. Clayton says it's on Xbox and PS4. But it does have partial Rudy, which means I don't know if we can do it because I said it in the Discord. We did that Call of Duty, or we tried to do a Call of Duty stream last week and it failed twice. And then, thankfully, because it failed twice, the first stream got taken off. What do you call it? Got removed by YouTube. And they said it was for breaching some guideline, but they also said you might not have been aware it was a breach. And it would have had to do with the in-game storyline. Yeah, it was actually the Call of Duty storyline. So you do have to be careful for anyone that is uploading gaming stuff. Just be aware that that can get you into trouble too. Oh, Vietnamese home cooking is here. Hello. Xin chào.
That's the only word you know.
Xin chào ngồi đẹp.
Meaning?
Cảm ơn. So xin chào ngồi đẹp means hello. I think means hello pretty girl.
Okay.
And I'm not sure if Vietnamese cooking is male or female. And then cảm ơn means thank you.
So
no.
you combine everything together.
Well, tạm
What?
biệt means goodbye. And then chúc mừng năm mới for Happy New Year. There you go. I'm fluent in Vietnamese. How about that? You know, it just makes me think, what are we going to have for lunch today? And old Uncle Pudot's cranky, so he's looking for something to fill his belly that makes him feel nice. Uncle Pudot, how has your life been in Stink 2? Well, I've been trying, Penguin, to be a lot more positive in streams, because the reality is, if I was really to be honest with you guys, my inner voice, you know how everyone has an inner voice? So it's like talking to yourself, or you know what I mean? Not in a crazy sense, like Stink Pants talks to herself out loud constantly, which I also do. But yeah, I'm talking about that inner voice that you have, that, you know, where you converse with yourself, whether it's out loud or not. Anyway, mine's pretty negative. I actually am a not overly positive person, and it's something that I've tried to change over the years. So I've got to ask you, Stinky, has it gotten any better in the time that you've known me? Have I improved at all?
Well, I I don't know because you don't always speak up.
No, that's true too. I do.
You keep it to yourself
Yeah.
most of the time, so it's hard to tell. But at least from the expression, behavior, and whatnot, you don't look like you are that bad.
Yeah, I do hide it a lot. I'm sorry for that. So, yeah, the point of all of that is, life can be hard for some people, I guess myself included, and sometimes it's not because of external factors, it's internal that causes that. Stinky, on the other hand, she's also, let's face it, can I say anything about work or not?
Yeah, not to be specific.
Yeah, not specific, but you come home not overly happy,
Not happy.
isn't it? So you try to boost each other up a bit, and I guess that's why you were talking about trying to get a get-rich-quick scheme.
Don't forget you have to give me the number.
Yeah. So I'll talk about that a bit more, but the chat keeps going. So when are you going to play the Bok Choy game again? So
I don't mind that game.
Yeah, and to be honest, we are at the point now. We talked about this just last night. That Stinky, I've been telling you that we do get requests to play some of the games that we've already played again. So we will have to incorporate that. And I think now we're going to have to trust that YouTube will promote us and that our subscribers will support us, so that if we upload more frequently, we still get, the views. It doesn't end up destroying the channel. Like, a lot of people that upload prolifically, they don't realise that it actually harms what they're doing. They think it's good, more content is better. But that's not necessarily the case. If you're not putting in the effort and it's kind of just uploading just to upload, it's not really going to help. So, yeah, we might end up sort of doing requested games maybe midweek. I don't know how we would do that in terms of time for everyone, because Clayton just asked what time is it in Australia. It's 1:37 p.m. here, so it might not be a great time for other people, particularly midweek. Lunchtime on Sunday, yeah, Ethan knows very well. So Penguin says, I have a surprise. I've gotten a new girlfriend. Nice one.
What?
And decided to take things slower than last time, and it's someone who really loves me for me, and I'm so happy. Thank you for the advice, Uncle Poodot. So on that note, I'll say this is awesome news, and I'll ask you guys, because you often come to the streams and you want to talk about personal things, and that's fine. Happy to help. I do say just be careful about how personal you are. It's the internet, don't forget that. But the second thing is, I like to, with my real friends, I'm very blatant with them. Sometimes it's a little bit I can be too abrupt or too, what's the word I'm looking for?
I don't know.
I don't cushion things much. But when it's particularly in the live streams or people that I don't know well, I'm not really going to be that blunt. Blunt, that's the word. So if you guys are okay with me being blunt with you, then I will in future, because I kind of feel bad with Penguin's first experience that I don't think I was encouraging, but by the same time, I wasn't really telling him what I thought, because he was so happy. I was like, well, I don't want to ruin, you seem really happy. So for me to then say, I think you should take things a bit slower at the time, what would you do, Stink? Because it was only after he told me he broke up in another stream that I then said, yeah, at the time I was thinking you're too young. Mm-hmm. So that's a very serious decision to make at a young age. And, you don't...
It is hard.
Yeah, it's hard to tell someone that. Oh, Vietnamese says that they love this game. There you go, you're playing another one that they like.
Ooh, nice one.
Ethan says, lucky you, I got friend zoned. I just, oh no, Ethan, be careful there. Don't worry, mate, I've been very friend zoned a lot lately, plus you got this, mate. Yeah, well, that's right. And don't take friend zone thing too personally. Like, it has helped me in the past where there's been one or two girls that, only one or two because I'm such a
such
There's been
not
a-
attractive.
Hey, with my new monk hairstyle, I'm going to go out and pick up all the women. Yeah, so it can be to your advantage to have those kind of friends, and it's not. This is my own personal view, and people might think differently, but generally speaking, it's difficult for opposite sexes to have friendships because there's usually an attraction one way or the other, whether you recognize it or not. Do you know what I mean? And it can actually flip. So I'll give an example where when I first moved interstate to study, I needed somewhere to live, and I actually met this girl on a beach, and she just happened to go to the same university that I was about to go to. So we ended up, she rang me one day and said, look, I need a flatmate too. Do you just want to move in with me? So I did. And she is a very attractive girl. All of my male friends wanted to date her. And when I first met her, I was really attracted to her. But once we became flatmates, it was more of a flatmate thing. And one day we sat down and we're just having a conversation. I said, you know, I never told you this before, but when I first met you, I was really attracted to you, but, you know, then now I think of you as more of a sister. And she said, well, I'm glad that you didn't tell me that at the time. I would never have let you move in. Which was quite harsh, I thought. Now, with that one, oh, hey, why is my thing so dull? How do I brighten it?
I don't know what you did.
I don't know what I did either.
What did you do? Where is your mouse?
Oh, there you go. That's what you do. So, yeah. And then the other thing was she, for whatever reason, was attracted to the worst guys. They just, all of us didn't like, in that friendship group, we never liked any of her boyfriends. And one day, one of her friends said to me, you got to tell her. And I said, why can't you? You're her best friend. And she said, I can't. So I did. I sat down with her one day and said, look, I don't know how to say this, but, you know, we just don't think the guy that you're going out with is a good guy, and gave the reasons. And she said, I'm really thankful that you told me that. Like, you know, I want you to always tell me. And then she'd bring home another guy and it'd be the same again. Like, why are you attracted to these people? They're not nice people.
Are they looking attractive?
Yeah, and that's the thing.
Maybe that's why.
Good bodies, good looking guys. She was, she liked the sort of jock kind of guys. But a lot of those people are, you know, they're not really nice people. So anyway, to conclude, she ended up moving overseas to work for a year or two, and she wrote me a letter, and she said that you're the only real guy in my life. I was like, oh yeah, you're attracted to me now. It's too late. I've moved on. Hey Peter, oh, here we go. This is going to be a bit of a sad stream, but we're going to make everyone happy. That's our plan today, Stinky.
All right.
So let me explain something to you. In my school, the girls only like the guys that are yeah, well, there you go. That aren't great to everyone. I don't roll that way because I've been raised that way. And Ethanator, I think, is a very good person. The way he speaks to us, both in clan games, in Clash of Clans and Discord and so ever. He's a guy that sooner or later is going to meet someone, you know, that's really special and that he deserves to have. It took me Uncle Peter, I'm proud that you told her about keeping them a secret. Yeah, it's a tough thing to do. This is a bit of a life lesson as well, but it does show the true nature of the relationship. If you're lucky enough to meet people in your life beyond your own family, you know, if you have a normal family that loves you, there is exceptions to that. But for the most case, you know, family loves you. They might not do everything right. That's a given as well. All right. But if you happen to meet people outside of that, so the first one is usually your partner, right? Not related to you, end up having a bond with them. You know, you can talk about anything, and you should talk about anything with them. I understand it's harder with family. To talk to your parent or your brother or sister about really personal that, because I personally don't do it unless I really have to. Then the next thing is that you form over the years, and you will lose some. I've lost some by being very blunt and telling them how I feel, even if it's coming from a place of love. But the ones that understand where it's coming from, they just end up loving you more. There you go. Words of wisdom from old Uncle Peter. So, I would say try and do that in your lives. Be as open and honest as don't do what I do. More diplomatic. I struggle with diplomacy, you know, and just tell it how it is rather than sugarcoating it. And sugarcoating is a good thing to do. The art of diplomacy is a much better skill to develop, and you know, it takes practice. You'll find when you get into the workforce, that's when you really have to start practicing diplomacy. You know, you don't do as Uncle Pudot does. He's bad. He'll often quit a job just based on the people that he works with. Whereas my sibling gives better advice and says, hey, you know, you're always going to find people that you don't get along with at work, but if you keep doing the right thing and being diplomatic and not getting aggro with people at work, then you're going to outlast them anyway. Because he was telling me a story about some person that he's worked with for 10 or 15 years and he can't stand her. She's a, you know, high-level admin or whatever it is. Nothing to do with what he does.
Yep.
But, yeah, just argy-bargy. And then he was right. Eventually that person left.
Eventually after 10, 15 years.
But he's still there.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. Or that's what he was saying. He's still there, whereas she's gone. So, you know, in it for the long haul sort of thing. Now, Clayton says, because I have a friend who works at GameStop who since I was 4 and now I'm 13, and he's leaving GameStop. Oh, okay. Well, maybe you can... I don't know what to say about that. I will say, Clayton, be very careful about mentioning your age, but that's okay. Ethan 8 or 2. Just be if you're going to do it, just be aware that you know, there's people out there that might take advantage of that fact. So just be careful. Okay, so oh wow, Ethan 8 has gotten even taller. He's 6'8" now and still growing.
Oh, how do you know he's still growing?
Well, he's only
okay.
So he might not have fully grown. Some people don't stop until something. I stopped when I was 14. I had a massive spurt when I was younger.
Stop.
Yeah, and then it just stopped. I used to be like the tallest kid in class for quite a while, and then I'm short. Now I'm short. What the heck? And now that you've shaved my head, I'm even shorter. There's gone another 2 inches. Well, sorry, I just had a freeze moment. So, yeah, I mean, maybe you can ask, if you like this person, Clayton, you can maybe ask, you know, where are they going to work next? And this is a struggle with online, that I see lots of people say, oh, if you're a grown man, you shouldn't be talking to kids online. And I don't know how to deal with that. Like, what, am I supposed to ignore the DLD? I don't think I'd need to ignore them or just say, look, you're too young to talk to. You just don't do certain things. You know what I mean? Be sensible about how you interact with people. Anyway. Stink Pants.
What?
Vegemite or Uncle Pudot?
Oh, Pudot.
That was a great one. I've been the tallest kid in my school forever. Yeah, I reckon that is that an advantage. I reckon it would be. You know, tall people do tend to get further ahead
Yeah.
in life. I don't know why.
Not always.
Not always, but there is that
It's
thing.
not just, you know.
Yeah, there's a
It
couple of
helps a
things.
lot.
Height helps, and so does blue eyes. If you got blue eyes and you're tall, there's a good chance that you're going to be treated a little bit better in life. And you know, good looking people get treated better in life. It's a shame because usually it's the not so good looking people that are the nicest that are around. You know, they end up being better people. Not to say good looking people can't.
I still struggle with your blue eye comment thing. I think it depends on industry that they will be treated differently or gain more advantage, but not always. I don't find.
There was a study done about this back
What
in the
study?
day.
Back how long?
Yeah, it was a while ago.
Why? I mean, like 10 years,
No,
20
you took
years.
30 or 40 years ago.
Oh,
or
that's
something.
very old.
Maybe newer or older, I don't know. Oh, there you go. Ethan He's got blue eyes and he's tall. Look at it. I'm going to be waiting one day for, you know, A-list. He's going to be the new Brad Pitt.
Whatever.
Oh, there is a problem with I don't know if this is true or not, but height doesn't work in Hollywood. Did you know that? Most superstars are quite short.
Like how short?
Around my height are a little bit taller. They're not as... The number of times when people have a testimony where they say, I met so-and-so in real life, geez, they're not as tall as I thought they were. Mm-hmm. Like Willem Dafoe. You were with me when we saw Willem Dafoe. He was my height. Like literally my height. He's not a tall guy.
But they're not short.
But I'm short, aren't I?
You're not that short.
I feel like when I walk around today, everyone's taller than me these days. Particularly the younger generations, even.
Use your own generation to compare.
Oh, then if you're talking my generation, I'm probably average now. Because most of my friends are taller than me. They're not, they might only be an inch taller or 2 inches. Blue eyes. We've got stud muffins in there. We do. We are asking a man with experience for advice. It's not weird. Well, I'm glad you say that, Ethanator, and I hope because the channel is growing and you know we seem to be picking up more subscribers and getting more views, that as new subscribers come in, I hope they understand that sometimes I feel like I'm in an awkward position. Stink pants, not so much. That seems to be a bit of a sexist thing that women don't get called out as much as men for interacting with younger people. But I'm just going to say I'll keep doing it, and whatever the consequences are, let it be. You know, the DLG. Mm-hmm. They're what helped grow the channel. So there you go. So thank you for saying that. It does make me feel a bit better. It says I'm 5'4" and he's still young. For at that age, I'd say you're probably pretty tall, isn't it? I was taller than that, but as I said, I spurted young, and then, you know, got old and fat and short.
Okay.
I have, please. So I've read all of that. I'm still waiting for you to come here to North Dakota so you can go in the chuck wagon and eat homemade chili. I'd so want to do that.
Chuck wagon.
Yeah.
Homemade chili.
Yeah.
From Cal.
Have you seen Dancing with Wolves? It'd be like we've got these massive rolling hills everywhere. Wolves, or you don't?
I don't. Is it a movie?
Yeah, it's like an epic one. It goes for a long time, 3 hours or something, 4 hours. It's a long movie.
Okay, what type of movie?
Kevin Costner is the main actor, if you know him.
No.
So it's back in the days of the Native Americans and the Wild West sort of era, or a bit earlier than that, I guess, when, you know, the the non-Native Americans were exploring, going further and further into the heartland of America. Doesn't sound familiar?
No?
And they got the chuck wagons and they go travelling. That's what we want to do. One day, Ethanator, if we can ever travel again. That's the biggest concern at the moment. Clayton, I am ugly. I have autism and ADHD. I don't believe any of that, Clayton. Don't worry about whatever your looks are. Because there can help with all of that, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And you should never. This is coming from a person that does put themselves down a lot. You have to train yourself not to think like that, you know. And the fact that you're still young, it will make it easier to do if you start practicing now. So don't say things like "I'm ugly," you know. I personally don't think it's subjective. Beauty's subjective. Stink Pants will say that all the time. You'll say, "Oh, here come the hiccups." You'll say, "I've got the weirdest taste in what I think is attractive," right? A lot of the times, what I think is attractive, you don't, and vice versa. Mm-hmm. So it really doesn't mean anything whether you're good looking or not good looking. And, you know, the best looking people in the world might have a terrible life, and the not so good looking people might have a great life. It all who you are, not so much what you look like. Ethanator, I was 6'1" in 6th grade. My goodness. Pilgrims, that's right. That's the word I'm looking for. Can we get some cosplayers? I'll dress up as a pilgrim too.
Pilgrim.
They wear like black and white, and they've got this black hat that's got like a belt buckle on it. You don't know what I'm talking about? So they have... Seen any traditional Thanksgiving photos where they're dressed up as pilgrims?
No.
And they've got this like black hat with a rim on it, but it looks like it's got a belt buckle on the hat. And then they...
I have to Google it. I don't think I can imagine.
We're going to bring back that fashion. Just like I want to bring back a robe as a fashion.
Oh my god.
It's such a useful item.
Yeah, all right.
You know what I mean?
I know you're wearing robe at the moment.
Not this kind of robe, a proper...
Like
proper
a monk robe?
Yeah, like a monk
Oh my
robe.
god.
And not the monks that you're like the Buddhist monk. I'm talking about the traditional medieval monk.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking
Yeah.
of.
'Cause
Which you look like.
You can sleep
Anyway.
in the thing. You can make a shelter out of it.
No, not the shelter.
You can.
That's exaggerated.
No, I'm telling you, all you need is a big enough square or rectangle, or square we'll say, and you just fold it into a triangle shape. And that's it. I've seen it. Oh, Jamel de Flamboyant is here. Hello, it's good to see you too. I love The Godfather 19... Oh, here we go. These are some good movies. Godfather 1917. You saw that with
Really?
me?
I struggle with watching it.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but I know that they got a rave review, but I struggle to concentrate and understand what's going on.
Which one? Godfather or 1917?
Godfather.
Yeah. What did you think of 1917?
I think I didn't watch it.
Yeah, you watched it with me. It's that.
1917?
It was that newer war movie that almost got an Academy Award. They said they should have got an Academy Award.
Oh, that
for
one.
Best movie.
So.
Didn't think that good. I thought it was alright. Citizen Kane's a classic. Wow. I'm allowed to watch some scary again. So wait. He's also saying Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Yeah. And Halloween. Last two are scary movies. How do you feel living in a time that will forever be in history books in the future? It's scary, Ethanator. I mentioned this in the last stream. This is something that I do want to talk about a lot more over time. That if I can indulge now, when you speak to someone that was an adult before the internet, and they're just a normal person that didn't then spend the rest of their time on the internet, the mindset is very different. It really is. I can't emphasize that enough. The psychology of people is changing, and changing rapidly now. The way people are thinking is different from the way we thought, and this is what's kind of scary. 20 to 30 years ago, my lifetime changed, and arrogant or whatever, but if yourself from online thought processes, and it's kind of hard to explain actual examples where, you know, in my day growing up, if you wanted to hang out with your friends, you'd have to ring them up on the phone. You would have to speak to them, and then you go round to their house.
Do you have pen pal?
Yeah, I had one pen pal when I was younger from Scotland, so that was what we used to do. Pen pals, right?
And what do you do to get pen pal?
So it was actually organised by the school. They said we're going to do pen pals now, so, you know, choose a pen pal or choose a country, and then it gets organised for you. And you just do back and forth. Okay. Now that is very different from today, where you can instantly connect with someone from who knows where in the world, and you can have a conversation or whatever. It's just very different. I know you had a pen pal too, didn't you?
I thought we talked about this before.
Yeah, didn't we?
But not really a pen pal. She just wrote. Actually, do you have to so that you want and register somewhere?
Remember?
Because I was registered to any. She just wrote to me, and I'm
really.
Yeah, so I'm like, I don't know why choose me, or why school not organized, or what?
Yeah, I wonder how that works. You have to register.
Yeah, that's what I think. That's why, you know, you kind of accept that, I'm gonna have pen pal, and if you not accept your obligation, the person who write might not get a guarantee that you.
So she knew your name and address?
Yeah, I think she sent it to my school. My address on my school, but I got it.
Right.
Yeah, the person knows. But the funny thing is, she doesn't know I'm a girl.
Oh, there you go. And did she stop writing when she found out?
No.
Because mine stopped writing after she asked for a photo and I sent it. She said, let's exchange photos. She sent me one of me, and she stopped writing after that.
Well, she wrote to me, and I think I'm actually into the pen pal, so just to be polite, and so she can pass homework and whatnot. Right. So I wrote it to her, and then I thought she wrote it back to me, and I was a boy, and back to her.
Oh, there you go.
Ignored.
No, yeah, that'd be typical. Now I got points here because I'm way behind the lighter. Stream says Kane, it seems to do a lot these days. It's cut short, so he started. Jamal says, nice game. Thank you for saying that. Ethanator, the Giblet Kicker King. Kane, Penguin, Ethanator, you seem sad. Yeah, people are having a hard time today. It's not just Ethanator. So we're trying to cheer everyone up. And they're saying hello to Jamal, which is awesome. Uncle Poodot, how long do you think we in California have before the whole state burns? Now, again, like, I'm not from America, so what we see here might be skewed news. California's got, my understanding, does have a few problems. One of them is they really need to reduce tax there. The tax is crazy in that state. And I get that there's a lot of rich people there. You know, it's Hollywood, it's Silicon Valley, all of that kind of thing. But if you're talking, say, YouTube, for example, it's incredible how bad it is. Have it here, but it's nothing like see there. And I probably silly solutions for that. I don't know or not. But if you, for example, you want to get out of homelessness, say California, why can't you have the government or some backers buy a parcel of land that they then build on for the homeless, but they employ the homeless to do that building and train them. And so that way you're sort of taking care of behind that. Where you have an entire suburb created, I want to say overnight, not literally, but you know, an entire suburb just out of nowhere gets created, and it's got your shopping precinct, it's got your housing, it's basically a self-sufficient little area. Now, it can be done. It gets done in Australia all the time. So why can't you have that for the homeless people and employ them to create it, train them? That's there is a, you know, is into with mental health issues or maybe drug issues or homeless. That's I don't know, because you know you would need mental health help as well or on top of, and you know there is always going to be that percentage that just want to be homeless. That's true too. So yeah. At the moment, need to change. It's only I've seen doesn't improve. Do you guys have any wildfires in Australia? Every year, and some of them are natural, and unfortunately, some of them are deliberately lit, which is disgusting behaviour. Because people do die and wildlife certainly has a toll, but it's normal even for settlement or colonisation. Back when in the days of the native Australians, or I'm allowed to say Aboriginals, right?
Yeah.
So Aboriginals, they also used to cause wildfires deliberately because it helps our environment to produce. Did you know that? That there are some trees Australia does not, unless there's been man-made or not. Some I knew, yes, I can't read that one, but yep. Do you have Dr. Pepper soda in Australia? Yes, we do, but it's not overly popular. So some don't even. Have you seen in the some? I remember back in the day that car wash that had the American.
I think maybe 3 or something.
Yeah, something. You remember that car wash I took you to that had the American? Sold like traditional American stuff, and it looks like in a 1960s style American.
No, I can't remember where it is.
Oh. Well, they have Dr. Pepper there. I know that much.
Okay.
Kane says I've reached 5,000 points in clan games, and our clan reached 75k. This is the first time I've maxed out clan games. Welcome in the clan, Kane. And why you're not, and also that you're not. None of that. Ethanator can brag about how we did in clan games. Our clan got 120,000 more than 50. Oh, there was the most people that had participated too. We had 4 people do it as a minimum, and I kicked 2 of them out. So it was probably more like 45. But I have also gone on in our clan. I've booted a whole heap of people. And with the clan looks good. Oh, goodness. Sorry, I'll try to catch up. Why does my emoji look like that? What do you mean? How did you find me? This is all Discord stuff. Why is the stream cutting out? We're not. Are we?
I don't know. It doesn't say anything on my end.
He's been promoted K-Leader by Ethanator. Nice one. Did they you had last year were arson? I would have to say some of them probably were, because it happened every year they investigate and someone has started a fire. It's almost without exception. And you do have to occur when there's maybe a lightning strike somewhere out in the bush, you know, and it causes a spark and then it starts the fire.
Or it in the summer there.
It can be someone accidentally flicking a cigarette or something out the car window when they're driving past. And you've also got to bear in mind, you know, we have a lot of eucalyptus here, and eucalyptus is extremely volatile, extremely flammable. So once things start, it escalates very quickly. And if you've got winds, then it becomes so
Volatile and flammable?
So if you can imagine, hypothetically speaking, some human beings left some garbage somewhere and they've dropped a and it just happens to have the pointing towards a dried eucalyptus leaf and the sun hits that can cause a fire, you know, and it's probably happened. People leave trash everywhere, and you know, you can have a little bit of what do you call it, that I don't know what you call it when you've got that fire and it just dry grass, dry eucalyptus leaf, and that'll just set things off. That's what I'll say about that. It's cutting out really bad. Like every time when he speaks, it sounds like he's talking gibberish. Clayton has to leave. It was good to have you here for as long as you were, Clayton. Take care, be good, and hopefully we've cheered you up a little.
All right.
And I don't know if it's
Goodbye, Clayton.
Don't know if it's a stream halting. I always talk gibberish, so it might be that too. And this one, I know that if it's going to be like this. Let me check the stream health, saying he's said that. It's saying it's all good. I've got all right. So look at this, we went on a huge diatribe there. And old Penguin's gone a bit quiet. He's got the good questions. They've all got the good questions, really, don't they, Stinky? What else did you want to talk about?
In the game, who fall in love with Gardner from the broken, poor family, and they just keep seeing each other in secret.
All right.
Have you been seeing someone else when you were younger? With our daddy?
No, I'm American. I'm not American. What is it? The right self-incrimination. What is your favourite colour? I'm going to say purple for Stinky.
Yeah.
See how I know you? What about you, Ethanator? What's your favourite colour? Now, are you asking me stalking? Is stalked anyone? Were you saying?
No, I'm saying see someone. See, no.
I mean date? Yeah, I'll admit that. I told you before, our dad's not allowed to have a partner until you finished university, which was ridiculous to say.
Yeah, so
You
you
know.
didn't do as he told.
Who would? Your hormones are going to kick in at some point. It's hard to ignore your hormones. I mean, I get what he was saying. It's a distraction. And I do say to the guys, you know, if you can avoid having a partner while you're still in high school, that's actually a good thing because it is distracting. There's no doubt about it. Both had friends. I wouldn't recommend just get through your high school. You didn't, did you, Stinky? You never had a partner into a... What, 18 or something?
Yeah,
Or you're already in uni, so I would recommend. But it's hard as well because your hormones are kicking in when you're younger. But, you know, you can do it. You might. If you talk cat, I'd say that. If you're talking our cat, I'd still say our cat. As well. Would you fish? I definitely. Rod, teach me how to fish. This is what I've still. It's one of the most important survival skills that you can have, and it's not hard. You've just got to learn how to do it. We're going fishing one day, Stink. But the problem is, like, I don't like using light. Really good for fresh fishing. Worm's one of the best things you can use. Best is probably what we call yatties. Effective live butts. I don't like using it, but you know, fish with them. But when it comes to sea fishing, that we would use or something like that. Yeah, you have to learn how to hook. In a desperate survival situation, you will pick up a worm. And you will. What are you going to prefer? Picking up as bait or eating it?
I'm not doing either one.
You're in a survival situation. What are you going to do?
I'm gonna pin it with the branch and then use the bait, try to stick it.
Yeah, so you would.
I'm not using my hand still.
But you
If
will.
I have other option, you know.
So we are resigned to the fact, though, that you will use worm bait in a survival situation.
Yeah.
All right. It is a question I'm asked a lot. Is it better to hand people things or teach them how to get it? It is than to be given. I'm a firm believer. DLG picks up how hard to do that, but in a subtle way. Like I do, because it does sound condescending if I just keep telling everyone what to do. Like, what's the word that they use now? Oh, you're virtue signaling, which I don't even really understand what that's supposed to mean. What you tell bad or is I don't get to say, hey, I do this because I do less so now. But yeah, learning how to do is very important life skill. Now, having said that, though, a provisio. When it comes to me and I say to Random, for example, I'm often saying, Random, I need your help with this and that. It's not that I want him to get me... it's not that I want to get him to do things for me. It's more like it's easier if I learn... I'm stumbling over my words again.
Blah.
It's easier for me to learn from you showing me. Do you see the distinction there? It's the same with you, Stinky. If I try to work something out on my own, you've seen it plenty of times. I'll and I won't get in there. You can 15 minutes or less. Teach me. You're asking me to do stuff for me. I'd say, it's like, well, show me what you did. Yeah, get on it and then teach. Oh, Kuma Crean. How are you? Thank you for joining. I believe you might be new here. DLG, unless. One day you'll leave this world behind, so live a life you will remember. That's true too. You're the con man on my YouTube. Why am I a con man? I'm curious to know what caused me to be a con man. But I'm happy to hear it. Teach me so I don't do the same thing. Yeah, please clarify. Curious why you would say that. Yeah, it's good to, if you don't leave your mark, but this is something again, Justin Pants and I last night about leaving, having something special that people for. So spoiler alert, I had a very angry week this week because I was trying to learn GarageBand and it's slow progress for me. It's about time we release an original song. I have released original channel private videos that if you're a channel member you can hear some of the original music, but it's not good. It's back in the day. When I was quite young and didn't really know what I was doing when it came to recording music. Nothing was really polished. It was a lot of fun though. That's the thing. If you do something creative that you enjoy, it's a lot of, whether it's writing, doing music, anything really, arts and I could do that better. What? I'm no good at crafting. Sort of like at school when you do not home economics. What I think it was just called arts. So I don't know what that is. And Takuma, please, I'm still waiting why you would call me a con man. I don't know how I've conned anyone. I haven't asked anyone for anything online, really. I'll con you now. Sign up to the channel memberships and Patreon. You can listen to all of our videos, Takuma. You very rarely like that. It's still lagging a bit. I don't know. It depends on whose device, I guess. Because it seems alright on our end. I've been looking at the live stream here and it's still saying it's fine. I haven't gotten any warning or anything.
Yep. It's getting harder now.
Oh yeah, but you're skillful. You're a skilled gamer, Stinky. Oh, actually, maybe he's saying conman because of the thumbnails. Because I got another one, how for the last two cooking games, one was a little bit risky and the other one is a lot more risky. We got a comment last night saying, is no one going to talk about the thumbnail? Look, yes, I cannot deny that occasionally we do more clickbaity style thumbnails. We do the whole sex sells thing because let's face it, it's always been that way and it's always going to be that way. And if you sort our videos by most popular, we should be doing it for every thumbnail. And it doesn't necessarily mean that we can't don't have the sexy lady thumbnail. But I at least try to make it slightly relevant. As relevant as I can. Any game that relates to the beach, I'm going to try and put a woman in a bikini on. Sorry, that's all. Says yes, this is bikini time. So, and then, for example, I happened to find some rather recent when it came to waitress. So that goes on too. And if it makes you feel you can't do it though. There's nothing that's causing us to get stuck or anything. It's just, and we got to push that. Come on. I wish I could show you what we hear. I used to ask what sexy lady you were going to put on the video. If we're doing a normal video, I can do that. But in a live stream, it's a little bit harder. Because I don't know how you can even insert stuff like that in a live stream. And then, you know, if anyone says, oh, you've got that thumbnail or disliking for the thumbnail or whatever, then I can point to, you know, timestamp 103, the girl's there for 2 seconds, not clickbait. That's all you got to do. So yeah, sorry for that. I mean, DLG, they know it's just playful and we don't really mean anything by it. But from a business point of view, from a making money point of view, let's think go on a rant. Our top 2 videos have got more than 100,000 views on them right now. And that is probably because of the thumbnail. In fact, I'll say it's almost definitely because of the thumbnails. And I'll give you a heads up. This is letting you in on a little secret for any watching on the replay of people in the. We do deliberately limit the number of times we do it. Used to be like 1 in 6 videos we'd put a race. It's even less. But having said that, it really depends on the game itself whether I can slip one in there or not. If it's not relevant, generally I don't, unless you're talking the earlier thumbnails, which we did, where we put it on anything. Oh, Reinvent Yourself is here. Hello, how are you? It's been a long time since we've seen you. Hope you're all well. So you've got that too. So to conclude, we have to strike a balance because we are in YouTube to make money. There's no doubt about that. I've said that many times that, you know, it's not all love and unicorns and rainbows. There's business involved here, and if you do things that generate more interest for your channel, you should do that, don't you? And people can say, I've had even our own animators, one of them say, I don't want to be associated with that. And that's fair enough. My sibling also said it, that, you know, if we start getting sponsorship deals, they might say, we don't want that kind of thumbnail. And that's fine. We won't do it for them. But there's no denying it works. That's the point. You cannot deny that it works for... It doesn't work for everyone, though. And I don't know what the difference is with us, because I've seen plenty of other channels try and, you know, get the whole clickbait thing with the sexy thumbnails, and it just doesn't work for them. But for some reason, it works for us. I will point that you can look at plenty of other videos that have lots of views on them that don't. You know, Oh, I'm going into brag mode now after all of this. Look, you people that don't like our racy thumbnails. More than half of our videos have 10,000 views or more on them, and we don't even have 10,000 subscribers. So, and not all of them have that. So clearly, you know, it's not that big of a deal. It's just a thumbnail. All right, I've had enough of that, because at the end of the day, I don't even care. I get so many dislikes. It's like, yep, what are you going to do? They're going to dislike it. Fair enough. They'll occasionally comment saying, you know, con man or whatever. Fair enough. Made you click. Can I say that? I made you click.
Okay.
Really, I want to put Stink Pants' facial expressions on thumbnails. That would go viral. Wouldn't it, Stinky? If I put you on there. Now, it's actually up to you at this point how long you go for, because bear in mind we had a 40-minute stream before that, and actually if I can do the old Clash of Clans things, I got half an hour to do one more attack. But I'm also wasting gold at the moment because I can't spend it. Now, what do you think, Ethanate? Are we doing naughty things or not when it comes to that? Should we just stop it all together? Or anyone else that's still in the live chat? Sorry if I don't listen to you, warning in advance. They are getting harder to find, though. That's the other thing. Once you've started using a few, they do get a little bit harder to find. Is Stink Pants one of the thumbnails? Whatever the hottest woman that you see there, I say, yeah, that's her. No, not yet. We still haven't done a face reveal. I doubt we ever will. Yeah, but she's... I don't know. This is... We're getting all kind of serious again, but I'll use Twitch as an example here. We could be a lot more successful, a lot faster if Stink Pants was. If you were doing, say, gaming with that little box on your face, you know how...
Oh, yeah.
So if the camera's on you and you're doing a gaming, we would be more popular. Because you're attractive, because you're female, you'll get a lot more... So I've heard it's a little bit harder to get away from the trolling on Twitch if you're female. I don't know how true that is. I've just watched videos on it, but there's that. But I don't think that would bother you. You're too strong to even let that concern you. So, yeah, but we don't. We don't take advantage of her at the moment. No, like you said, it's always down to business. So continue to do it. Well, thanks, Ethanator. I'm glad you understand that it's not... These things shouldn't be taken so seriously because some people do. They take it really seriously. I do have to say, though, you know, when you're talking about the ultra... then I apologise. You're talking like the Islam type Middle Eastern... You know how they're really conservative and if you're showing too much skin... I get that, and I apologise to those cultures. I hope you can understand that in our culture, where I'm from, you can walk down to the beach and you'll see topless women, or you can go to a nude beach here. So it's a very different mindset. And, you know, on our television and movies, we don't have censorship as much as, say, where Stink Pants' country's from. She was shocked when she saw free-to-air TV in Australia for the first time and saw... I remember, you were like, what the heck? What's the problem? This is the way... So, you know, be that other people think differently, and you can disagree on things without ending up despising each other for it. You don't have to go that far, because the one good life skill to develop is to be able to put yourself in another person's shoes, even when you disagree with them, especially when you disagree with them. Why are they thinking like that? What is it that makes that person think that they're right when I think I'm right? You know, if you can see their point of view, you come to a much better understanding. It's a skill that's not really taught, and it should be taught at school. You know, philosophy should be taught at school. These are the things that help you develop that mindset. And if you do that, I think you'll find in the long term, your life is actually better, because less things affect you. Is that a fair comment, Mike? That if you can have a very even-handed approach to things in whatever it is, that you'll be better as a result.
I'm not sure about being better, but I get this help.
So I'll give examples, right? Say for number one, my father. Not much bothers him these days, like at all. Just because he takes an even-handed approach, You know, you can have, for example, he told me this story where one guy walked up to him on the beach and started yelling at him because he didn't pick up his dog poo. Mm-hmm. Now, Dad didn't even know the dog pooed. The dog was pooing. He was looking in the other direction. Mm-hmm. And this guy was really angry at him. And Dad just turned around and said, "I'm so sorry for that. Thank you for telling me. I didn't see my dog do it. I'll pick it up right now." The guy didn't know how to react to that. He was expecting a confrontation and he didn't get one. Mm-hmm. Now, after that, do you think my dad even thought about this guy much after that? He didn't. He was grateful for the fact that the guy actually said that to him because he doesn't like it when other people don't pick up their dog poo. Oh. So he was like, yeah, you know, the guy did the right thing. He told me. Maybe the way he said it wasn't great, but no, it's all right. And he doesn't dwell on him. Spidey's here and Ewan's back. That's the first thing. The second one, let's say, do we want to use the thumbnails? Because that's what if you get really offended by some of the thumbnails we use, who is that affecting? Because it doesn't affect us. I'll say, I don't care. I've had comments where people say, I disliked your video because of your thumbnail. Mm-hmm. Fair enough. I think if I'm in their shoes and they clicked on that expecting to see some sexy woman and they don't, they'll be mad. Fair enough. What can I do? They're not wrong. Mm-hmm. But, you know, you get super offended. It's only yourself that's being affected. It's not me that's being affected by that. So let it go, you know. I'm not saying don't have that view. Like, you can say, yeah, I don't like the fact you do that. Fine. We agree to disagree, you know. Just don't let it affect you. Did that make sense?
Sure.
And that applies to anything, you know. You could be... someone parks their car in 2 car park spaces. That annoys me. Don't let it get to me. As soon as I've gotten out of my own car and walked about that person that didn't park their car. No point. It's a waste of time. In the old days, they walk around nude, so I don't know why people are saying, yeah, that's true too. It's a natural part of life and conservatism, mate. Like, you know, I would probably, this is the other thing about Australia. I don't know if Ewan can attest to this. How many times have you seen a streaker in Australia?
What do you mean, streaker?
This is at university, Stinky. When you were there with this is when I met. I was travelling home on the bus one day, and this old guy, he was 50 or something, was jogging down the street completely naked. And this is in the middle of the day. Like, he wasn't hiding it. He was just running down the street naked. And all of these people have turned around and gone, oh my goodness. Story number 2. This was a house that I was living with a whole group of flatmates, and next door to football, and these group of guys were, and then another group of guys were in a car, and I knew what they were doing. They were in a car near our house, and I could hear them talking. I do. So then 2 stripped off. They ran grabbed all the cricket wickets and kept running, and then dropped it at the end. And the car, they were talking about it. They say, right, drop us off here. We're going to run naked across the field. Pick us up over there. You know what their mates did? They went to the other side, right, with the car. And as the naked guys were almost there, they took off. They didn't stop. They just kept driving. So now these guys are chasing the car naked, trying to get in.
Why did they do that to begin with?
Because it's funny. And then I told the flatmates, who are all girls, they're like, why didn't you tell us at the time? We wanted to see it. Small things amuse small minds. And there were some small things, all right. Oh, and then there's my friends. My goodness, some of them are exhibitionists. to this very day. I actually asked one of them, said, you know, you're a father now. You got a couple of girls, a boy, you know. How would you daughters had this same voyeuristic, exhibition streak in them? And he said, I'd love it. I hope she does. What is that? And then the last thing I'll say about that guy is at his birthday party at his house, as soon as you walk in the door, there is a blown up picture of him. Almost life-size picture of him standing naked in the snow. So, you know, it's a thing that they do. They really enjoy it. Myself, no. I'm a little bit more prudish and conservative. Plus, I don't have an attraction to see it. So there you go. Now, what are we doing, Von Stink?
Thinking about lunch?
Yeah. Oh man, I'm going to have a lot of work to do after this. It's 2 streams. Anyway. Hopefully they'll both get promoted. So do you feel a little bit better, Ethanator, now that I've tried to tell funny stories and cheer people up and try and sort of point people in the right direction? It goes back to what I really wanted to talk about the last stream, that I think if you do speak to someone that's around my age, you get a different perspective. Stink Pants is of that category, but you...
What do you mean?
Well, because you started using the internet when you were in high school, right? I had to wait until my 2nd degree. Like, even the first university degree I got, I didn't use the internet.
Okay.
It wasn't even around.
Oh.
And then the second one, it was like, what is this? So it's just, yeah. I think most spent a lot of time online. They do, but they don't. If you ask them about social media, here's another thing I'll say. With social media, most of the people that I know used Facebook. They don't have Twitter accounts. They don't have Instagram accounts. Some of them do, but most of them don't. You know, and any other form of social media. So they don't have that. This is the other thing I'll say. This is important for young people to realise. This whole thing about being popular online, it's a very big deal to a lot of people. They identify through that. You know, how many... I always get asked, subscribers do you have? Important to me. Like, well, it blocks things, but I don't identify myself like, look at us now, we've got 100,000 subscribers, aren't we special? Like, I don't think we'll get to that point because it doesn't affect us that way. Or if you post on Facebook, you don't care how many likes you get, do you? I don't care either. It's a deal. But the reality is, it actually gives you a dopamine rush and it can be very addictive. Did you know that? That people are addicted to social media. It's an actual thing.
Yeah.
And young people in particular, because they don't understand how that dopamine rush works and what it's actually doing to you. You've got to be a little bit more... Your brain's got to be fully developed for a start to understand the difference between what's going on and what you perceive is going on. So you've got to be careful with these things. Don't think that you're a better person, or you need to be a better person just by being well liked online or social media. It's not true. It's not important, but so many people think that it is. So for the, DLG and anyone else that's still listening, just remember that it can be very addictive and it can cause you to start thinking differently. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I could go on about this for hours. I'd like to have a massive debate on this. I think it's a really interesting thing to identify, and hopefully that as the generations come, and I had this conversation with someone else in private saying, look, it's going to take 2 or 3 worth of people before we start to realise how the modern world is affecting us. But the problem is the world's changing that fast now that it might be too late at that point. By the time you realise what's going on when it comes to media, etc., it's going to be too late. Because the young people today, and this is why I say it, let's take Ethanator and Penguin as an example. They're around the same age. You know, we will take the old school method of you having kids before you're 30, right? So in 10 years' time, these guys might be having kids. And they've basically grown up in this environment, in an environment that you and I didn't grow up in, right?
Sure.
How are they going to be able to teach their kids stuff that they themselves don't understand yet? They're not, right? What you've lived through is so new that you can't hand down the experience to the next generation because you don't know what it was like before that. Is that a fair comment to make?
Yeah.
And so then you look at their kids. Now we're 2 generations down. That's what I'm saying. You're already at the 2nd generation down. Maybe they haven't worked it out yet. 3rd generation, they've probably worked it out to say there are certain things that you shouldn't show the way it is. Protection, you know, there's a word for it. Laws that are created, if I can think of this when I'll get to it, where it of a personal liberty, but it so seat belts is the classic example. Seat mandatory now, but for a long time they weren't. It's a protective law. It's like you must it's your own good. We don't have any of those kind of laws at the moment when it comes to the internet, really. There's a lot of catching up to do. Is that fair comment to make?
Probably.
Now, my guys, I'm hoping, are smart. All the DLG, I believe, are very smart.
Okay.
And they're going to hopefully learn from some of the rubbish that I say. Sometimes,
Rubbish.
every now and again, there's a gem.
Okay.
Not often, but every now and again. Gems, you know. Talk to people that are way older than you and just ask them, like, what was life like back then? What do you think of things now? And you'll get an extremely different perspective from people your own age. Oh, and then the last thing I'll say is also beware of people might spent a long time on the internet, because there are some big creators or influencers, whatever you want to call them, that are around. They behave like children because they never grew up. They just internet. They got fame early and they never really grew up. Just be aware of those people too. Okay, so that's that. The weirdest thing that anyone told me is they went someone some dude with this thing in a stone. That's almost like the picture I just saw. But anyway, I'm feeling a lot better, thanks. That's good. Couldn't care if I was popular or not. Attention bothers me. Yeah, I'm similar. I'm kind of both ways. Introvert.
Look, when you get more into adulthood, that doesn't bother you too much.
Yeah.
It's more about teenage thing that you're gonna feel like that. Like, it's bother you a lot. But then when you grow up, it doesn't matter.
It's true, isn't it? It's a very school type thing that popularity is really important, but as you get older, it becomes less important. But it's different when it comes to online. I mean, look at us. Yeah, we want to be popular, but not in the sense that you think. It's just like, no, it's about the money. We just want the views. It's not really about, look how cool you guys are. I don't think you'll keep me grounded, won't you, Stinky? I'm the one that's more, oh, look at me, I'm a superstar now. Oh dear. I always felt that way, which is good. Did you know that 25, we can start drinking at 20 the brain? What the heck is with that? So again, good that you know that, Ethnator, and younger people, the quicker you learn that and what it actually means going to be. When it comes to drinking, I'll say this time and time again, just things in moderation are okay. Don't be excessive, and kids are still going to do it because who didn't, you know?
The thing is, you have to know what is a moderation. Like
Yeah.
what is the acceptable one.
Yeah.
So you should have 2 days off per week of alcohol, and the rest you can have, but depends, you know, alcohol like wine has a lower range of alcohol compared to like vodka. You can't use the same amount, you know, you can have 2 standard wine, but it's not the same with vodka. You can't have
Yes.
2 of vodka per day
That's true.
because the percentage of alcohol are different. You might have 1 shot per day, but 2 wines per day.
Yeah.
So it's different.
It-
But yeah, I work at like I'm not gonna say aged care, but deal with elders a lot, and quite a few of them has. Hey, don't you
So
comments.
keep going. I'm listening.
Many of them's got problem with alcohol misuse in the past.
And now it's affecting them.
Yet,
Yeah.
and that is very bad.
Yeah. I mean,
Bad.
you've got to be. Going to be a lot of hopefully 18-year-olds, but let's face it.
When you experience that, you're not gonna want to have too
Yeah.
much alcohol. Never again.
Yeah, that's right, and that's the people that have gone through it. Then you'll know. When you're young, you think you're invincible. It's normal. Everyone sort of thinks, yeah, I'm change the world, or look at me, I'm invincible. I can do whatever I want, and consequences to things that you do. You know, I've suffered the consequences of things. So, you know, if you have to get drunk when you're going for the experience, do it. Hope, and then from then on, you'll be more. Like, I don't have a problem. I have a glass of alcohol, like you. Little bit of alcohol every now and again, but you don't drink to excess. You know, I've never seen you get plastered.
Oh, like
I know you've done it, so have I. You know, most people have. Then again, having said that, be like Ethnator and be like my brother and my father. They've never been drunk. They've never. The most they've ever had is maybe half a glass of alcohol for a 21st birthday celebration or something like that, a toast. And then they'll have a sip and put it down. They won't drink anymore. I also, you know, when was the last time you saw me drink? It's been a long time. So
it was funny though. You were so thirsty, and then
Oh,
that's the
that's
the
why,
only
yeah.
that's that beer. The bottle of beer is the only thing that is in the fridge.
that's right. I didn't even have cold water, so I ended up having to drink a beer, which wasn't a nice beer. If it was a nice beer, it might have been okay, but it wasn't nice. And yeah, so good that you have that strength, Ethnator, that if you've been offered those things, you know, refuse. If they don't interest you, then refuse, because that's a good thing.
Yeah,
You're
it
not-
kind of affect your brain and stuff like
Yeah.
you when you get old. And I'm not talking about old. I'm talking about like 50s. Already,
does.
50 is already affect you.
Yep.
And you know, usually 50 you still have a good health and you still go to work, and instead if you misuse alcohol you end up in hospital.
Yeah.
Your brain affects, like you lost memory and stuff.
Yeah,
No good.
that's true.
What's this?
Look at us, we're having a very positive stream at the moment. So again, you know, moderation. If you do decide you want to go down that path, just be sensible.
And you
about it.
become aggressive too.
Yeah,
Like
well, it
pretty
depends.
much everyone that I met in like elders who got problem with alcohols before, they're kind of aggressive. Sometimes they just like disoriented, just suddenly woke up from sleeping and then disoriented, like they didn't know where they are now, and then they start to shout and yelling. Like I remember another day, one of them just said, "Get out!"
Oh, wow.
When I just enter their room. "Get out! I called the police already."
Oh,
Like,
wow.
What? When did you call? But for what? I know you hiding something. I know you.
Wow.
It's just, I don't know. It's just really confused, and I don't know what they thought
Yeah.
about. They thought about me being something, a thief or something.
You're just doing your job. I work here.
They don't even know they were in hospital, so it's pretty bad. You don't want to be like them. I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure.
Yeah. That's some very sage advice. Very
Mess
wise
up
words.
with your brain one heck of a lot.
Yep. And that's it. Oh, we're just sounding like a couple of old biddies at this point, aren't we?
What do you mean?
Don't do this, don't do that.
No, I'm not saying you shouldn't drink alcohol though. I mean, you still
I would say...
should try.
I'm not going to say should try. Like, if you don't want to do it, don't do it.
Yeah,
because
if you
you've got to
don't
bear
want
in
to,
mind,
but-
there's religions out there that, you know, don't drink alcohol. So, yeah. I think what we can...
Yeah. The Muslim they you know, they drank the different alcohol because they believe in their blood, and because they never drank alcohol, they don't get it that, you know, this alcohol is different from that alcohol one and the toxic one,
Oh,
and they drank the wrong
the
one.
toxic one. I don't do that. My goodness. Ifinator says, my friend has problems with these things and I'm sick of her outbursts and anger at me. I'm thinking about dropping her, but the good part of me can't do that without helping her. It hurts me. So, yeah, I've been in this situation more than once too. If you are willing to make the sacrifice for someone, there is a limit to that. If it starts affecting you personally, like your mental health or whatever, you can't help someone unless you've helped yourself first. That's rule number one. If you aren't taking care of yourself, you're not going to be able to take care of someone else. So you get to that. Number two, to identify the strength of that relationship. Because you will lose. I've lost friendships over it, trying to help people. They don't understand that your tough love or whatever it is is trying to help that you do it. It actually happened to me recently. I'm going to lose a friend that I've known decades now, since we're in school.
Yep.
Who I'm talking about and why I'm thinking. But we've come to the realization that, I think you agree with me, that the person that he is not... I grew to love a different person now. Now, he has had bad experiences to that point. If you've had the life that he's had, and probably negatively. Now, if that's the case, then there's not a lot I'll still see him just because he's in a group of friends, but I'm at the point where I think I'm done with the relationship, which is sad. We've kept it together for as long as we have. Now, I've got in a much more serious situation that I say to him, our friend go away just because it's that strong. Constantly berating him at this point. supporting. I've tried being gentle and it doesn't work. So now, most times when I talk to him, we will have a nice conversation, and then it's asking, what are you doing about problems that you have? You know, and then I get harsher and harsher until he says, I don't want to talk. And usually that's it. We'll hang up and then it'll happen the next. Because I want him to get better. And it's been... So that's to conclude with all of that, you need to identify willing to sacrifice. Because you've got to bear in mind, Ethanator, like, other people are not your responsibility. It's your family, your kids, or extended family, and the really close friends, the ones that you are prepared to sacrifice for, because you'll find people, you know, sometimes. Do you think that's okay advice to give, Stink, or no?
Yeah, I think so. You know, you as you can do.
Yeah.
But, you know, you don't have to feel guilty.
Yes. You don't have
if
to...
it's out of your reach,
yes.
You're out of your capability, then,
yes.
you know, it's not your fault.
So
you do what you ever...
Yeah. And for example, like, to make yourself feel better, you can say, I'm going to organise an intervention. I've done that before. I'm going to organise an intervention, so you're going to get you fixed so that, you know, you don't keep doing what you do. Number one. Number two, you can say, look, I think you need to go into rehab. I've said that to some people as well. Now, no one's actually done it that I've said to do it. But you can try. And then if they're not going to listen to you, at some point you've got to say, well, I can't do anything now. Like this friend that I say, I'm worried I'm going to lose the friendship. He's not willing to change. No matter, he doesn't even want to listen to what I have to say. He thinks that I'm... Who am I to give advice to him, sort of thing?
He's
Yeah, you get that impression, don't you? That
yeah.
he thinks and he actually isn't. That's the strange thing. You can say, has he made more money than me in his lifetime? Yeah. He's made more money than everyone I know. Including, well, maybe not some parents of... I have it. Yeah. Better person. It just means you've worked hard, you've gotten into a good profession and you've made a lot of money doing it. But, you know, half my other friends have also not as much as him.
Why? Why you not make a lot of money?
Oh, man. It's
Stop
not
saying,
enough for you.
Just
That's the thing.
stop saying that. Oh, your friend made a lot of money.
Because it's
Then how about you?
I'm going to make the money on YouTube. YouTube is my career now. The other problem with her is she can't accept help because she's a person who thinks, yeah, well, there you go. She thinks she's invincible. She's young, though. That's going to happen. Young people think like that. I thought like that. You know, some of the stupidest stuff I did was speeding when I was younger. You know, it's dangerous. You kill speeding with a car, but lots of young people do it. It wasn't until I got older, it was like, that was dumb. And I was... Peter, I'm the person in front of a train to save someone. People getting hurt bothers me so much that watching news hurts. So, not on that level, you know, with you, because I am like that. Every now and then, and there's no real reason to think of her, but I do. Probably going to happen, you know, start developing Alzheimer's or something, then I'll forget. But, I read Ethanator's next comment, or
I don't know.
have a stink pants with you for the... She's a gold...
Doesn't have all the dick.
That until after the fact.
No. That's the problem.
You're... is...
I wish I can be a gold digger, so you don't have to think.
Look, I'm the gold digger out and make the money. That's what it is. You've been living off me for 10 years.
What are you talking about? I work all the time.
You contribute.
Hey.
We're both contributors. I just contribute a heck of a lot more.
I'm not talking to you. I have.
Yeah, no, she's good. She would have not this anymore a long time ago if she was actually, isn't it? But they're both great because, you know, we've come from a background. Can I say that? We both compare. Like, imagine growing up in a poor family in a third world country, you know. You don't have many advantages in life, and you never will. It's luck, or whatever it is. I'll say luck. In life, you're either born with a bit of luck or not. Yeah. And we were born. Pudot, do you watch Darman? Never heard of it. So, is that a movie or a TV show?
She's addicted to at the moment. Britannia.
Yep, Britannia. It's a good TV show.
Oh, low battery.
Yeah, we might have to stop the stream soon. We have been going for quite some time. But I do want to hear what Darman is from Spidey, and hopefully Ethan is okay. He's been good today. He's stuck around and asked lots of questions and kept the conversation going. We need that. Mm-hmm. Thanks for all the cheering up, Peter and Stink Pants. I have to go. It's 12 a.m. No worries. We're going to head off as well. But I'm just waiting for Spidey to say something, and then we'll call it quits for now. And hopefully see you in the next one. So have you got any final thoughts, Stink? We actually covered quite a lot today, surprisingly. Because I was struggling a little bit at the start there.
Nothing. Yeah. Don't blame yourself.
Yeah, that's it. Yourself if it's not your problem.
You have to, like, don't want to use the word ignore, but, you know, kind of settle, you know, like, not ignore, but, you know, just learn your capability and just, you know.
Yeah, well, that's it.
I don't know what the better word for ignore.
What you're talking about is that inner voice. It's the inner voice talking to you saying, I'm responsible for that person, you know, their pain is my pain. And that's your inner voice that's saying that to you. And when you say ignore, you're saying you've got to learn how to identify that that's going on, deal with it, and set it aside.
Yeah.
That's what you're saying. So
like, set aside if you can't do anything with it.
Yeah.
Then you have to learn that and accept that that's what it is. And you have to love yourself. You know, you can't just leave like that, you know. I don't know what to say here, but yeah, that's it. You can't blame yourself, and you have to learn how to you have to love yourself as well. You can't just love yourself and blame yourself that you can't.
Yeah, that's right.
Pretty much.
Spot on, Stinky. So thank you for telling me about Darman, because I'm going to have to check on what you guys are saying. Yeah, no, I definitely will. We do want to do the same thing. Shout out to Spidey. Like, I had a problem saying that I want to make things more, and said, you know, we should do that. Take advice from everyone. Yeah, listen to what if they say a good thing, or where from. You can learn from all walks of life.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Yep. So thank you for joining everyone and watching the replays when you do, or if you do. Well, next one, if the internet sorted this week.
Hopefully so. Of it.
So on PlayStation will get there sometime. Fantastic week, guys.
Bye.
Am I... Yes?
Yep. But I don't know how you do it for me.